Institute, Dr. Thandeka Ellenson, who is also representing the MEC of KZN, Department of Economic Development, Tourism and Environmental Affairs, Honorable Siboniso Duma, Deputy Vice Chancellor of Teaching and Learning at DUT, Professor Suren Singh, Executive Dean, Faculty of Accounting and Informatics at DUT, Professor Olu Dayo Olugbara. Ladies and gentlemen, our participants, our hackers and makers, our wonderful guests and technology enthusiasts to the KZN InnovTech Expo 2022. My name is Kimonelwe Patudi, and I'll be your program director for the day. Driven by the spirit of innovation and disruption, the KZN InnovTech, sorry, I'm a bit short, 2022 as a platform for innovators to showcase their inventions, demo technologies, and prototypes for further development and possible funding opportunities. It's also a platform for young people to start problem solving, solutioning, using enabling technology for their communities. This year, the KZN InnovTech Expo 2022 is being held at the city of eThekwini, wonderful hosts, at the Durban University of Technology, Ritson campus, within the Faculty of Accounting and Informatics, which houses the DUT MICT 4IR Center of Excellence, the Leuben Workshop, and ICT laboratories with technologies that include 3D printing, drone technology, VR, IoT, and robotics, just to mention a few. The theme for this year's InnovTech 2022 is using technology as a tool to solve our road and transportation and traffic challenges. We know about what happened on the 17th of September 2022 on the N2 in Pongola. There was a freak accident, unfortunately, that caused 19 people to lose their lives. Now, as we look at these challenges in our communities, we know that the young people are the future of solving these problems. Looking at the day that we're in today, we're in the technological and digital age. What does that mean? It means that our landscape, our economies, our societies, and our connectivity is all based on technology. If we do not harness the skills of young people using enabling technologies, we're going to fall behind in solving the problems that face us today. We believe that we need to use technology as a governance tool to disrupt inequality, to bridge the digital divide, and to make South Africa a global source of tech talent. The program today is absolutely exciting. We've had a fantastic 2 days of activities with young people. We've had an excellent makeathon as well as a hackathon, which we'll hear more about. And I'm excited to take you through some of the streams that we've had during these 2 days. The streams that we've had in the different labs around the campus, we've had track 1, which is in lab 2 and 3, the Moses Kotane Institute, Hackathon and Makeathon. Guys, these young people spent the whole night building these solutions, and I can't wait for them to present to you. It's facilitated by Algo at Work's Robotics Academy, and this is a 24-hour marathon for young people from the ages of 18 to 35 to develop digital and robotic solutions and smart technologies for the KZN economy. Track 2 is in lab 4. Now, this one is very exciting. I don't know who knows the phrase, likobe, lisamanzi. So, nake Mosotho. And the first time somebody said this to me, I wonder, what are you gobbing? Why let's wait. And this person explained that no, the metaphor is to say, you deal with something while it's still malleable. You deal with it and you shape it while it's still soft. And this is what this track deals with. This track is based on children. Now, you know that the mind of a child is a sponge from certain ages, and this is where their core skills are developed for the rest of their lives. The Lagrange Academy Kids Robot Fest is a festival where the kids between the ages of 6 and 12 years, guys, 6 and 12 years, what were we doing? We were playing in the mud. And these kids are inspired, and they're given some inspiration and platform of empowerment around coding and robotics. Now we know the digital skills fair, coding and robotics are skills for the future. Some of the top 10 skills in the world for anybody to learn if they want to participate in the digital economy as well as, the global economy. Track 3, this is the VR lab, virtual reality, very exciting. We know the metaverse is now currently underway. I mean, people are buying properties in the metaverse. I'm not so sure how that's going, but that's a complete virtual world on its own. Track 3, VR Lab, is by Go Digital SA, and this is around esports arena. The KZN youths ages 16 to 30 will get to compete in esports and gaming festivals that will teach them about economic opportunities within the world of gaming. Track 4 is in Lab 1, the DUT Innovation and Tech Showcase. Very exciting. I encourage all of you to go and see if you haven't already. The Faculty of Accounting and Informatics will showcase its state-of-art infrastructure and technologies together with student projects. Track 5 is DC 1013. This is the Technology Summit and Conference, and this is exactly where we are. Featuring Mzansi's top minds and experts in technology and innovation, this year's conference will focus on industry talks and cutting-edge insights within AI, machine learning, and the world of robotics. So give yourselves a round of applause, everybody. Thank you very much for joining us. And I believe we're going to have a powerful and impactful program. So let's get right into it. First up, I would like to ask DBC for Teaching and Learning, Professor Suren Singh, to give us our welcome address. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, Program Director. Sanbonani, Moluweni, Dumalang, and hello to everybody. Thank you for being here today at the KZN Innovation Technology Expo. It's our first launch at DUT, and we're very proud to host you. So to the respected Honorable Deputy Minister of Communication and Digital Technologies, Honorable Pili Mapulani, the Honorable MEC of Economic Development, Tourism and Environmental Affairs of KZN, Honorable Siboniso Duma, the Honorable Councillor Ntando Kuzwayo from the eThekwini Municipality, and all other government officials present. Welcome. In addition, a special welcome to Dr. Thandeka Ellenson, the CEO of the Moses Kotane Institute, Ms. Andile Mkwebu, the KZN chairperson of the Circle of Global Businesswomen Network. Welcome to you. Thabo Shingani, the DM's outreach officer. Bongumusa Zondo, the chief strategy officer of the eThekwini Municipality. Bongakila Falana, the chairperson of the National Youth ICT Council. Aliwani Choku, the spokesperson for the National Youth ICT Council. Welcome to all of you as our important guests. A special welcome to our Professor Oludeyo Olugbara, the Executive Dean of the Faculty of Accounting and Informatics at the Durban University of Technology. All our executive deans, professors, members of faculty, staff of DUT, parents, students, and all our partners who have contributed to this successful event. All other special guests as well. All protocols observed. On behalf of our esteemed Vice Chancellor and Principal, Professor Thandwa Ntembu at the Durban University of Technology, who unfortunately could not be here today, I welcome you to the first InnovTech Expo 2022. It really gives me great pleasure to welcome you to this great event. The Durban University of Technology is also extremely grateful for you to grace us with your presence to showcase our contribution to innovation, technology, and entrepreneurship in KZN beyond the province and globally. Your presence here today also marks this important event and inspires us to be highly motivated and also to urge us to do better in life towards human mankind just as you have did in the past, and we continue to push on in terms of what we require for South Africa. Your achievements in your fields, especially all our special guests from industry, from government, and from key institutions external that contribute indirectly as well to this innovation and technology at DUT. We acknowledge the massive contributions you're making towards DUT and towards the economy of South Africa. To all the parents and students present here today, we value your contributions. We value your presence in terms of using DUT as a space to either develop your children towards higher degrees, as well as training the youth. And we have seen many of them from age 5 onwards that are really active in the labs today. As part of today's proceedings, I think it's important for me to demonstrate to you where DUT is and how is it operating regionally, nationally, and internationally. And just to give you a couple of aspects associated with the strength of the university and how is it functioning in that space. So firstly, DUT is home to almost 32,000 students as we speak, of which 92% are undergrads and 8% are postgrads. And we operate over 7 delivery sites from Durban all the way to Pietermaritzburg. Our first year student intake is just over 8,300 students. And we have an international contingent that represents 2% of 32,000 and is steadily growing. Our target is to push that to 10% by 2030. At our STEM level, we're sitting at 39%, and we need to meet a target of minimally 45%, which we hope to have in the next 2 to 3 years. The research at the Durban University of Technology is very focused towards the sustainable development goals. And to this end, I just want to mention some key areas that we are involved in. Thank you. We have an Institute of Water and Wastewater Technology that is internationally recognized and is based at the Steve Biko campus. We also have an energy technology station that is focusing on renewable energy solutions. We also have a reinforced and molded plastics technology station in the Faculty of Engineering and the Built Environment, which I am sure that when the minister comes the next time, he should pay a visit to that. And that is funded by the Technology Innovation Agency. There are 17 research focus areas across our 6 faculties. All of them are external funding and have a wealth of knowledge generating interactions with high numbers of postgraduate students these focus areas are well connected internationally. As of 2021, we have 2 spin-off companies who are using local homegrown technologies. And these 2 companies are focused on food security. In particular, one of them is focused on amadumbe in terms of creating porridge that will be on shelves within the next 2 to 3 years. The university has over 40 international collaborations. And we have established innovation hubs both in Durban and in Pietermaritzburg. I must further add that during your walkthrough this morning, as you would have gathered, the Research Center, the MICT CETA 4IR Center of Excellence, that is funded by the Media, Information and Communication Technologies Sector Education and Training Authority, which is the MICT CETA, under the leadership of Professor Olugbara, which focuses on the application of machine learning and Internet of Things to society. The center has multiple international partnerships with Tianjin Vocational Institute in China, the University of Jalgaon in India, links with Amazon, Oracle, Microsoft, and IBM, as well as the Oxford University and the British Council, to name a few. When you walk through today, what you saw is basic technology from robotics all the way to well-established 3D technologies that you would have seen and the real Internet Smart of Things. We are operating at a level in the MICT CETA Center that will soon become home to invite, as you would have gathered, engines of innovations very soon. The hard drive that Professor Olugbara demonstrated in terms of meeting the needs, especially during COVID times where students were well out in rural areas, where you have a handheld hard drive that is interactive with the cloud, is something that is unique to DUT. So And just to add to this, in terms of our infrastructure at DUT, which is funded by DHET, it's moving at a rapid pace. And you may not have seen it in this area, but if you just move across the Steve Biko campus and the plans that are visual, the university will be transformed in the next 3 to 5 years where you won't recognize it anymore. And in terms of DUT's name and what the Vice Chancellor has proposed as DUT, different, upended, and transformed. And that's our vision and goal. Now, using this in terms of Steve Jobs with respect to innovation, and one of his quotes is that innovation distinguishes between a leader and a follower. And this is where DUT is. And to name a few, despite all of the pandemic challenges last year and the year before, DUT was ranked in the top 5 of all South African universities in the 2021 World University Rankings. And it was rated in the top 500 globally and is the leading UOT in South Africa. DUT was also named as one of the top 6 universities in Africa, according to the Times Higher Education World University Rankings just a few weeks ago. In 2022, which is just of last week, we had a record-breaking 10,213 graduates for the year. And that was a 2021 class. And that was a record-breaking number of graduations. In addition, DUT was also awarded the Entrepreneurial Development in Higher Education Award in 2019 and 2021. This was in recognition of facilitating exceptional institutional support for entrepreneurial development. This was due to the huge impact the university has made in student entrepreneurship development, and through teaching and learning and research, and advancing the university's position as an entrepreneurial university. So we are grateful and proud of our students and staff who continue to lead and succeed, who create and innovate, and as we strive to live the values and principles that are enshrined in DUT's Envision 2030 strategy. Our statement of intent in our strategic plan, Envision 2030, is that by 2030, our people will be creative, innovative, entrepreneurial, and adaptive to changes in the world. Our people will participate productively in the development of our region, our country, and the world. Our state-of-the-art infrastructure and systems will enhance an ecosystem created to achieve this vision. Our Envision 2030 is driven by 4 perspectives, and one of them is systems and processes, which focuses on building an enabling environment that supports dynamic curricula that inspire innovation and entrepreneurship. This is driven by 3 strategic objectives in this perspective. They are innovative curriculum and research, a digital environment, and state-of-the-art infrastructure. Over the past 8 years, we have introduced and transformed 169 undergraduate curricula and 13 postgraduate curricula to meet these demands. In terms of collaborative online international learning, we have multiple programs globally that actually fit in with this as well, where we are able to even demonstrate teaching and learning across the globe between undergraduate classrooms, and that is widespread across the university. So looking at today's expo, it embodies all of these goals and serves as a key driver for KZN InnovTech and the Expo 2022, hosted by the Faculty of Accounting and Informatics in partnership with the Department of Communication and Digital Technologies, the Youth ICT Council, Algo Robotics, and MKI. I'm aware that this event brings together all the major players from the public and private sectors, including academia and research institutions, to explore unique opportunities to enhance innovation, digital and technology ecosystems in the province of KZN. I would like to close with a quote by Edith Widder, a specialist in bioluminescence, which is a light chemically produced by ocean organisms. She has been a leader to help design and invent new submersible vehicles, instrumentation, and equipment to enable unobtrusive deep sea observations of environments. And the quote is, "Exploration is the engine that drives innovation. Innovation drives economic growth." So when we explore all the labs today, ladies and gentlemen, and Minister, let's hope the DUT, from its own exploration at this level, is able to drive innovation and drive the economic growth of South Africa. So once again, on behalf of DUT, I thank you for being part of this great event, and I hope you enjoyed your interactions when you went out today, and further enjoy your interactions and deliberations as part of this event held here this morning. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Professor Singh. So many valid points that he touched on. Particularly what stood out for me is the importance of skills development. We know that our unemployment rate is exceptionally high, yet the internet penetration in South Africa is 68.9%. So what are people actually doing with the internet? If we have 68.9% of people using smart devices, using mobile phones, and able to connect with the rest of the world, does that not mean there's an opportunity for them to partake in the digital economy meaningfully? Does that not make them global competitors? And that is where skills development comes in. So I'm very inspired by the work being done here at DUT. And I believe that, you know what, if you want to go alone, if you want to go fast, if you want to go fast, you go alone. But if you want to go far, you go together. And that is why initiatives like this, where we can collaborate for a greater outcome, are very important. Thank you very much, Professor Singh. Next up, I would like to welcome Councillor Ntando Kuzwayo from eThekwini Municipality to give us the opening address. Thank you.
Siyabonga. Thank you very much, Program Director, Deputy Minister in the Department of Communication and Digital Technologies, our most honorable Philly Mapulane. God is walking namhlanje, Minister. DVC Teaching and Learning, Prof. Singh. Prof. Alu, our dear friend, we do a lot of work with you as a eThekwini municipality. The CEO of Moses Kotane, Dr. Ellingson, delegates in this venue who are also participating, and those who are also participating virtually. I'm told this is a smart gathering. Main hosts and partners, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, young innovators and our future leaders. Good day. Sanborn. How? Sanborn. I'm confused, but this is Durban. So when we say Sanborn, we are expecting a resounding yebo. So let me do that once again. Sanborn. Thank you. Yeah, this is the municipality now welcoming you. So you must feel welcome. Well, I wish to welcome you to this KZN InnovTech Expo 2022. A very important initiative that, of course, builds on the vision of our municipality of being the most livable and caring city by 2030. Now, this we do through strengthening our smart digital governance, and we also want to improve service provision and manage our infrastructure using technological advancement and the IoT, the Internet of Things. The minister was asking earlier, what is the Internet of Things? We're using that, Minister, to advance our technological aspect and improve service delivery. Of course, this includes machine learning and artificial intelligence, to mention but a few. Ladies and gentlemen, this expo is hosted in eThekwini municipality during October month. This month is globally recognized as Urban October, as adopted by the UN General Assembly as the month to deal with sustainable development matters as guided by the 2030 Sustainable Development Goals. Through, of course, the Sustainable Development Agenda and the new Urban Agenda, which is a framework for guiding localization of the SDGs. The theme for this October is 31 days of promoting a better urban future. Now, there are two critical days in October, which I'm going to note here. One, it is World Habitat Day. This is on the 3rd of October. And on this day, a clarion call is made to all of us, be it elected or appointed, that serve our message, that we must put efforts to ensure that there's an inclusivity, of course, across all sectors when we are addressing the sustainable development. And the second one is World Cities Day. This will be hosted on the 31st of October under the theme Better City, Better Life, Act Local to Go Global. In isiZulu, we always say Kona Oduma Wude. Those who know what that means, it means you are known far. You're like a generator. You know, a generator will serve us here, but it's going to be very far from where we are. So we want you to be known where you are as much as you are known away, meaning your impact in other people's lives should also be appreciated locally. So in simple terms, you must deliver the change here and now, and we must share our successes, of course, globally to mobilize support and partnering for success. Nationally, October is considered Transport Month, and it's dedicated to all things moving. The key question we're trying to address here is how do we make the movement of people and goods efficient, predictable, dependable, affordable. And at the core of this, in our context as a eThekwini municipality, is a walkable, safe city by design. Continentally, of course, the African Union vision of 2063 with its development goals galvanized all of us to fully leverage the opportunities as the only growing continent with approximately 62% of the population being youthful. The National Development Plan and its supporting urban policy on integrated urban development framework is clear on what needs to be done to leverage on the fourth industrial revolution. The Presidential Commission on the Fourth Industrial Revolution made 6 recommendations, but I'm going to highlight just a few. And one is the establishment of the Artificial Intelligence Institute. The municipality, working together with our strategic partners, guided by the Provincial Digital Strategy and Development and District Development Model, the one plan is training municipal officials on AI. We're trying to get DM people to stop writing on paper and using papers. Yeah, hence we are using gadgets now. And we want to, of course, capacitate them in building programs within the eThekwini Municipal Academy. The second one is investment on human capital. This was previously called human resources. In partnership with Microsoft, we have started a youth program whereby the municipality identifies youth with ICT-related qualifications. We identify youth with ICT-related qualifications, and we place them within our graduate program while they prepare to write Microsoft Global Accreditation. This is an internationally recognized accreditation. So it turns them into businesses automatically, internationally. not just in our context of South Africa. Just 2 or 3 weeks ago, we hosted a hackathon. I heard last night there was hackathons and makeathons and all thons. There were many thons last night. People didn't sleep. It was a very thorny situation. But our hackathon, of course, was focusing on smart water meters, because we are losing a lot of water through the metering system that we are currently using. Our own youth were able to develop solutions and innovation to address these challenges. And of course, this is giving us a leap forward. The third one is laws to guide for fourth industrial revolution. The city has both legislative and service delivery mandate. We are developing our digital transformation strategy and relevant policies to use technology as a catalyst for change. And I'll pause here, Minister, and say we have many problems, but we keep trying to solve them using the same solutions, and we are failing. Now we have technology at our disposal. And I will pause there. I wish to report to this sitting today that we are not waiting for relevant strategies to be in place, but we have gone ahead and developed our internal capacity and data management to advance insight-driven strategy and policy. Just on the 7th of September 2022, the municipality launched the Strategic Hub, which is our data platform where most critical data about the municipality can be harnessed. Now, I'm going to dwell a bit much on this one because I think it's important that you here understand it and the whole world, of course. We are building a corresponding data-driven model from which the city can make decisions and policies on a range of issues. Deputy Minister, I wish to acknowledge the recognition that your department presented to eThekwini municipality on the 13th of September 2022 during the GovTech Gala Dinner, which you continue to host in eThekwini, and we appreciate that. The first award, called the Digital Governance Award, was given to the municipality of eThekwini. The first award. Just like in Burumtsebi, what yeah, well, and the second award was also given to an official from eThekwini municipality. And this was, of course, for the launch of the Strat Hub, which was led by that particular official, Dr. Sandile Mbata. Now, we are very excited about the Strat Hub because even our investors are able to utilize it to source valuable information and of course, investment opportunities within the municipality. But equally, it's important for ordinary members of the community because they are able to participate meaningfully in the development of the city. And through this innovation, we really want to demonstrate that we don't want passive citizens. We want citizens who are going to be active and interacting with the municipality on a daily basis. Ladies and gentlemen, as we reimagine our city and work smart to make eThekwini a world-class city, good governance and leadership that is abreast of its citizens' needs and some of the basic requirements is what we need. So as the leadership of the city, we understand that we must be digitally literate. DM will know when COVID came upon us, we had a lot of unmute, mute yourself. And of course, in doing that, we must be willing to accept contributions from the communities, of course, using the available technological tools. The purpose of this hub is to provide the city leadership and officials and communities with access to tools that support insight-driven policy and strategic decision-making. This is part of eThekwini's journey of promoting data-driven culture, where decisions are based on insight and not on instinct. The strategic hub also supports the centralization of data as a critical infrastructure for improving service delivery. This tool hosts a series of dashboards that provide insight on various functions and operations of the municipality. Some of these tools will be available for the public to use, while others will be targeted for use by eThekwini officials. Most of these tools are available to the public, and of course, they are supporting our objective of becoming a responsive city that promotes what we refer to as core governance. Sifisa ukubambisana nabahlali baseThekwini ekuphatheni leli theku. You will agree with me that evidence-based participatory government improve our community's ability to make decisions, contribute meaningfully to political process, and hold us accountable. Asifuni ukuthi nithi siyanibalekela. Sesinika i-technology ke manje ukuthi nisiholde accountable. Usiholde accountable ngo-WhatsApp usekhaya. Uthi wenzani khansela? Ngithi ngilele. Ngiyadlala. The Strat Hub is what we hope as a eThekwini municipality will make us more efficient, more responsive, caring, and a smart government. The concept of smart governance is based on our desire to think and respond quickly and efficiently to citizens' needs. The concept of smart governance is based on our desire to think and respond quickly and efficiently to citizens' needs. Ningathi eThekwini amanzi axhaxhaza iviki lonke kungaveli ngisho umuntu ezolungisa. So we want to be that government that is responsive. It also entails our ability to have the insight on where we are as government in terms of our vision and our commitments to citizens. And of course, progress on service delivery and operational performance, and most importantly, citizen satisfaction. I'll just share this with you, Minister. We also have a dashboard that focuses on hearing citizens' voice and opinions. So we collect information from Twitter and all of these platforms to gather and understand citizen sentiments on how the municipality is being responsive to issues. Yes. Instead of the conventional ways of getting feedback where you take surveys and you say, tick here, 1 to 5, how do you rate the municipality? We no longer do that. We just go on Twitter and we get sentiment and we know, oh, we're not doing well. Then we fix that. Yeah. The eThekwini disaster dashboard provided us with real-time monitoring during the April-May 2022 floods. We were able to understand what was happening on the ground using this dashboard, but it also allowed us to coordinate our efforts and responses to go to the right places, because we don't want to be running around because we know there's a disaster, but it must be a targeted approach. And post that disaster, of course, the tool was then used to warn citizens of what may be lying ahead. So going forward, we are being proactive and we are telling people who are in low-lying areas, be on the lookout, there are floods that are coming, instead of being reactive when the floods are there. Ladies and gentlemen, we are also working with the South African Police Service, and we are developing local capacity to use smart policing as a way to address crime and violence. I never understand this thing of a wanted criminal's picture being put on the board in a police station. Are they expecting him to walk in? It makes no sense to me at all. Yeah, so with this technology, what we're basically trying to do here, ladies and gentlemen, we want to create a city where our police, Metro Police, you are soon going to start seeing Metro Police wearing body cameras. Yes. And they'll be driving smart cars that are fitted with technology. So these body cameras are going to be they'll be checking your face, and they'll be telling us that you are wanted because you owe us money. I'm joking. That's not a crime. Unless, of course, there's a warrant now, then it's a crime. But it's going to be used to track and make sure that the city is safe. So, for instance, we know that there's a wanted criminal for hijacking or something like that. An image will be taken, sent to this system. The system will tell us this person is walking on Dr. Pixley Kaseme right now. They are passing ShopRite. So by the time they get to the fix, there's a policeman waiting for them. They just grab them, they put them in a van, they are arrested. But also, using the same technology, we can deter crime, because once people know that if they go into that particular place, they'll be arrested because they are wanted. Usually crime is done by people who are repetitive crime offenders. Yeah. So they're not going to play into this city. So we are really creating a smart city, but a safe city. Today's Innovation and Technology Expo hosted in eThekwini is a significant milestone for our municipality, and it strengthens our resolution to create a conducive environment for investment and develop technological capacities. Our purpose is to develop relevant skills matched with relevant ICT infrastructure. I know a lot of you were very angry when your water supply and electricity was disrupted when fiber was being installed. We apologize. We're trying to create a smart city. But I know many people were disturbed. They said, hey, they're calling us. Hey, the municipality, why are you allowing these people to put... we're trying to create a smart city. You need fiber. Yes. So forgive us for trying to improve your city. But I hope you are forgiven. Are we not? Thank you. And really, you must know this expo is really much appreciated, and it is equally received with resonance from us as a eThekwini municipality. So siyanibonga kakhulu ukuthi nisilethele le expo la. Program director, one of the hallmarks of a developmental state is to be proactive in meeting the needs of the people, thus becoming an anticipatory government. We are therefore confident that working together with you and other spheres of government, of course, in a true all of government and all of society approach, as driven by the DDM, we are going to be conquerors. Now, I want to end by saying you must remember this. We are not victims of our circumstances, but we are products of our choices. Ngalawo mazwi-ke angemaningi, ngiyafisa ukuthi nginibonge for coming to eThekwini, and I also want to welcome you to this warm and beautiful city of eThekwini municipality. DM ufike-ke, you came at a correct day. You see, today is Durban weather. Durban is always like this. Whatever happened a few days ago, we don't know. Yeah, so I always pride myself when I get this platform and I say Durban is the most beautiful city with 2 seasons in a year. We have summer and summer. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Councillor Ndando. It's encouraging to hear what the government is doing and what their outlook is, what their initiatives are, and what the vision is for their citizens. I always believe that technology is a tool, and without the citizens, without people, without a social impact, it's absolutely pointless. Now, coming to that, I'd like our hackers and coders and developers to just put up their hands around the room. Guys, these are the people who were there last night. Can you give them a round of applause? And coming to that, the significance of programs like these, the significance of hacking, of building robotics kits, of creating different solutions, is that you hear for yourself from the horse's mouth, this is what the government is looking for. These are the solutions that need to be tabled down for our societies, and you are building them today. This is a seed for our future. And now coming to that, I'd like our Algo at Work Robotics Academy facilitator to come and tell us exactly what the young people were doing all night last night within the hackathon and the makeathon and all the thons and the different types of skills that were used to develop the solutions they developed today. I'd like for Techa to please join me. Now, the wonderful thing, Techa stays up all night, you know, helping build these skills and encourage these young people to build solutions. Please tell us what happened last night, Techa.
Thank you very much. I don't know if I can get a bit of help. There's a box which was sent here earlier on today. It's black. It might be on your table. I don't know if I can have it with me. I promise I'll be quick. When we talk about robotics, when we talk about AI, we usually speak about them as things. Most of the people, or most people, have never actually seen what goes into it. When you say, I am building a robot, how the questions we always get is, how do I program it? How is it computed? And a whole lot of other questions. So we find ourselves in a position where a lot of people, both young and old, do not know how to start. I am here today to tell you that when we talk about robotics, when we talk about AI, it starts with a computer as small as this. You can imagine, in the 1960s, the very first computer was as big probably as this room. The computer I have here today, this, I'm sure people at the back cannot even see it. This very small thing is a computer. It has capabilities of processing machine learning. It has capabilities of processing artificial intelligence. And through this computer, you have capabilities of building what we call robots. Robots that can run industries, that can run your homes, that can run roads or anywhere. Ladies and gentlemen, I brought to you an actual robot that we all recognize. And that robot is the basic industry robot, controlled robot. The one which would have moving parts like this. Now, everything that you see here was produced in my apartment, minus the computer. So you have this, as small as it is, you have it coming with a computer. Again, the computer is this small. This computer, you are able to write software in it, the software that can power this. Now, I know it looks like a toy, and people will say, but what do I do with a toy? Where are we going with it? Ladies and gentlemen, this computer has got a capability of controlling a robot as big as this podium I'm sitting at. Because it is not necessarily the size, but it's the power of what these microcomputers provide. Through this technology, last night we were able to take young people and say to them, take these small computers, produce solutions. And I believe that you saw some of the solutions which were produced. Young people were able to build trucks, which could be controlled by this small computer. They were able to build. I saw a cargo thing, which has got security, all these security features, and it is controlled by this computer. And therefore, what we are trying to do is to make sure that when a young person is sitting at home and they have an idea, they want to solve it, and it's a hardware idea, because usually it is easier to go into a software because we have gotten accustomed to software. But if it's a hardware idea, we are trying to make sure that we introduce them to these components with sensors, with all these capabilities, and they can produce solutions which can be brought to these platforms, which we can be able to see, support, and hopefully in the future, young people are able to build, mass produce these computers. I am sure everyone here will agree with me when I say it's not fun ordering things international. So with these capabilities, we have that ability. You have ability to build a toy, and they have an ability to introduce young people into capabilities of building smart cities, of building smart cars. All those technologies are actually start here with these small computers. These small computers are the brain. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Tsecha. So, as we said, uyaligoba lisasemanzi. And now you find, Kemosutu, by the way, so that is very difficult for me to say thank you. And as you find, you've got toddlers that are already thinking about being creative. Their imaginations are completely open. And if we're going to build sustainable skills, if we're going to build a strong human capital force in the country, this is the direction our children should be going. Now, looking at that, I believe that we've gone through a few industrial revolutions, and as Africans, we've always participated at the foot end of these revolutions. We have been consumers in a country, or in a continent rather, that is full of resources and has the capability to produce, as we have seen. We've just never taken ownership of that production, and therefore, we have not derived the value from it. And as we've been on the foot end, technology gives us an opportunity to leapfrog and actually be on the forefront of whatever we produce. Our GDP can increase, we can have sustainable economic development through the solutions that are offered by enabling technologies. So thank you very much, Tsecha, for that. Just on that note, for everybody who hasn't been to the labs to see what all the young people were working on, you'll have an opportunity right after the lunch break. So now, I would like to welcome our panel discussion. Our facilitator is Ms. Aluana Chokwe, and the theme of this panel discussion is going to be how to open up economic opportunities for local innovators. Ms. Aluana Chokwe will welcome her panelists as she comes up to facilitate. Thank you very much, Alu.
I don't know if I'm short or this is long. Good day, ladies and gentlemen, Deputy Minister, Councillor, the DVC, Prof, and colleagues, and the future of our country. I'm very honored to be here. So we're going to go into a panel discussion whereby we speak about economic participation. It is not enough that we have all these brilliant young people who are innovators, who are greatest of thinkers amongst their peers, but we don't speak about the economics of things as it relates to getting them into the market. How do we support them? What are the bottlenecks? So we're going to have a panel discussion. I'm going to be joined by one of the, actually, a few of the greatest minds that we have in our country. Obviously, that is women, largely the men we'll speak of later. I would like to welcome my panel members, Mr. Sandile Mahlaba from Go Digital SA Foundation and the Microsoft South Africa Foundation. I'd also like to welcome Ms. Nontogozo Ngobo from the DUT's InnoBiz. And I'd also like to welcome Ms. Dimakatso Masite from the NYDA. Please join me. May we please give them a round of applause as they join us? Thank you so much. I see Mr. Mahlaba wanted to stand out with his colorful color. So the World Bank has named South Africa the most economically unequal society in the world. And this is also evidenced by a number of factors, even the Gini coefficient. The Chancellor made some significant input speaking about the UN Sustainable Development Goals and actually the outcomes of the UN General Assembly. And also the facilitator also spoke about how South Africa and Africa in particular has played a spectator role within all epochs and within all industrial revolutions. So what is it that we can do to ensure that South Africa also becomes a global player in the digital economy? How do we use the ICT to also address the triple challenges that we continue to face as a country? This is of poverty, inequality, and unemployment. So my panel of experts in various fields are also going to be answering a few of the things that they do within their respective departments that will also ensure that at the end of today, all our hackers and all the participants, regardless of who won and who did not, how they will be supported by their respective departments and what their hackers and all the participants, regardless of who won and who did not, how they will also going to be by their respective departments how our hackers and all the participants, regardless of who won and who did not, how they will also going to be by their respective departments how our hackers and all the participants, regardless of who won and who did not, how they will also going to be by their respective departments how our hackers and all the participants, regardless of who won and who did not, how they will to ensure that we unlock economic opportunities for young people, particularly within the ICT space.
All right, thank you. Is it good afternoon or good day or good morning? I'm not sure what time is it. I've been here since 8 o'clock. So my name is Timakato Masiteng, and I head the IT unit at the NYDA. So before I bring it back home to my respective agency, what I wanted to say is that opening opportunities for our young innovators, it takes three things. First of all, synergy. Second of all, storytelling. And lastly, support. So I will begin with storytelling. I liked what the Chancellor was alluding to earlier on, that before you can go or before you can be known globally, also make change locally and be known locally as well. So this refers to the storytelling. Hosting events like this it's quite impactful and very important, because now the community itself gets to be driven, it gets to be inspired to know that there's somebody like me who can do 1, 2, 3, and then I can also do the same. So in terms of the NYDA and the programs that we provide, I'm glad that you quite understand our mandate. It's youth development. Because most of the time when people think about the NYDA, they just think about the grant or money, because that is like our most popular program. But however, it takes more than capital to grow and nourish talent, innovation, and that particular entrepreneurial element. So at NYDA, we've got mentorship programs, we've got market linkage. These are the programs that bring together young entrepreneurs or young innovators such as yourself in one room so that you can be able to tell your story, share your ideas, because together we can do better than alone. We also have grant opportunities. Of course, I wouldn't do justice if I don't speak about grant, because there could be somebody waiting there and saying, I want money. So we've got grant opportunities. So with our grant opportunities, we've got different levels, for example, because sometimes you could have a young person who just they have an idea, but they don't know what to do with that idea. So as the NYDA, it is our responsibility to nourish that idea and direct you into the right direction. So whether you have an idea, you have an existing business, you know where you're going, we are then able to help you. So we've got incredible business development advisors nationwide who can help you to develop a business plan and ultimately get funding through the NYDA. So also we've got things like the voucher programs, because marketing and branding is quite imperative in taking your brand to the next level. Now you guys spend the whole night doing your thorns, hopefully you are ethical haircuts. We won't be, disrupted while we are sitting here. Then after building your incredible robot in your basement, who knows about it right now? You build it, it's great, it works, but only you know about it. So now when you come to us at the NYDA to say, I have built this wonderful robot, how do I then take it out there to the world? We have our voucher programs, which will help you with marketing and branding your business. And because sometimes over and above, for example, coming to us as the NYDA to support you with your development, I just wanted to say that once you get assisted, just extend that help to the next person. Or also by just sharing information. As I was coming here this morning, I got a text from a young person that I met at some event last year. And the message said, thank you for assisting me. I will never forget you. For me, I've forgotten that young person. But that young person, whatever, that little information that I've shared with the young person, stayed and open up other opportunities for that particular young person. So the message here is that you come to the NYDA, you get assistance, or maybe not NYDA, because it could be NYDA, and then depending on your age, maybe you are sitting there, you are over 35, you're like, oh, okay, maybe it's over for me. We have other agencies or departments that also assist with nurturing talents and innovation and small business, such as your CEDA and the likes. So the most important thing here is sharing ideas and also making sure that as a community, we also nurture the skills and the ideas that our young people have, so that they don't leave the community. They make sure that even if you go to Silicon Valley or you go to Wall Street to go and maybe polish whatever skill set that you have, come back to your own municipality to make sure that you create your own Wall Street within Durban, so that people come to Durban. We don't have to fly into America. And then, I was listening to a TED talk earlier on by Ryan Lilly, and then he said that it takes a village to raise a child, but it then takes a community to support innovation and to support its innovators. So for me, that was quite a powerful message, because we forget, we all want to go to Joburg, we all want to go to America now because Harvard is the in thing. But I'm glad when I was listening to the CEO speech as well, that DUT itself is competing at that level. So instead of me wanting to go to Harvard, let me dream locally and want to go to DUT to nurture my skills and to make sure that I know that I can also compete at the global level while at DUT. So it starts with taking pride in your brand locally before you move abroad. Of course, in order for you to make it economically as well, because the speeches are nice, but at the end of the day, you do need that capital or money to run and fund your business. So over and above that is that through you being known locally and marketing yourself, and with technology, of course, you can then expand further. I mean, depending on the age now, remember when Bluetooth started, it was like, okay, I have these devices that can talk together. We are now on to the next things. People are buying land onto the metaverse. So it's also for our young innovators to think in that space as well. There is no crazy idea. So the support that our innovators as well, that they will need from the community economically and other development factors beyond us as the NYDA, is that we listen to any idea when you come to us. There is no crazy idea, of course. We don't fund alcohol, drugs, and etc. But there is no crazy idea, because even if you come to us and say, Dimakato, I think I have cracked it. I've created a time machine. I wouldn't say time machine, should I refer you to social development to check you out? We sit, we listen, because we believe that that little crazy idea is what is the idea that makes certain developers to go out there and create things such as metaverse, to create things such as, look at now, we are in a smart conference. People are streamlining, they are able to watch us. But if that person was shut down and said your idea is crazy, they were never going to be able to flourish. So speak about technologies, innovation. As the NYDA, we then created an online portal that is accessible on different devices, so that you guys can easily be able to access and apply for our services. Because as I was saying, that leveraging technology over and above the national footprint that we have out there, so that our young people can be able, those who have access to smartphones can be able to apply for funding or any other development that they might need from us. So I'm also glad to hear that Councillor was speaking about building a smart city and installing fiber. So now it means that the young people from Durban will, be privileged enough not to have to go to an NYDA office. They can literally be processed while they are at home, because now with video calls and identity verification, everything can simply be done online. So that is how the NYDA can be able to assist you in terms of opening opportunities for our young people.
Thank you so much, ma'am. You've said a mouthful. And I think one great takeaway that we need to take is the fact that we need to develop where we come from. And well, it's quite unfortunate that we are all products of historical atrocities whereby, townships and villages were labor dormitories and there was only economic activity in the towns. So we need to be deliberate in developing where we are so that we stop this high influx of Johannesburg, the city of eThekwini, but we can actually come up with the solutions that we need in our respective villages. So to my next panelist, speaking about African solutions to African problems. You exist in an institution of higher learning, and we know that it is still also quite exclusionary, particularly for the Black child. Now, one of the greatest factors that we were debating with our colleagues was the fact that at the advent of the global pandemic, you had children in Ngobo not going to school because it was closed down, schools were not functioning. And we also have children that go to your most affluent of schools that continued with learning at home digitally. So what is it that the Durban University of Technology is doing, firstly, to ensure that we create a cohort of graduates that are capable of creating African solutions to African problems digitally? Number two, what is it that we are doing to ensure that universities are accessible, especially to the most destitute in our societies?
No, thank you so much. My name is Nondogozo Ngobo. I head the Center for Entrepreneurship and Innovation at the Durban University of. And I'm glad that Prof. Singh has just said a mouthful, so I'm just going to walk into her stuff. The university has transformed drastically into being an entrepreneurial university in order to address not just the challenges faced by the university, the youth in the university itself, but also the society. That we have around us, our immediate community. So in our programs, we've not just focused on our registered student, but also we've extended our support to our local communities. The schools that you see here, it's mostly the schools that we've adopted. We couldn't bring a lot because it's Saturday, but we have over thousands of young people that comes to our facilities. But what have we done as a university? As a university, we've not only just invested in the state-of-the-art infrastructure for like the labs that we've seen that the deputy minister and the colleagues were seeing, but we've also created programs. So the incubation program is targeting those students, which is not the entire population of the university, the 5-10%, because entrepreneurship is not for everyone. Innovation is not for everyone. And we have to create programs and align them to the various interests of our population. So we have that program where we start with them from the ideation phase. The university, maybe if I can start, they've created these creative spaces, the labs, the maker spaces, the hubs, the agri-hubs, the technology hubs. We have a variety of that, both in the Midlands and here in Durban. Those spaces are not just for display. We have robust program. Actually, this hackathon is the fourth on here at DUT. We've had 3 hackathons in the beginning of the year, so this is the fourth. Sis Kitty is here, my colleague as well. We've been having sleepless nights, 72-hour non-sleep with these hackathons. So the university has invested immensely into these programs to ensure that we not only talk about entrepreneurship, but there's tangible results. In our tangible results, we have students that has inventions that are now global inventions. They're making like annual turnover of over $1 million. A student making it an annual turnover of over $1 million. A student supplying a mainstream markets like your Spar, your Chepikas, your Woolworths. In our incubation program, we have students supplying these mainstream markets. So those are the tangible results that we have. And the university has also ensured that it include this mandate into the strategic document of the university, like how Prof. Singh was mentioning, that now we not just producing the graduates, but we producing the graduates that are adaptable to the changes happening in the world, entrepreneurial and innovative a graduate that will contribute also to the development of the economy, not just locally and globally. We took over 40 of our students to Silicon Valley in 2019. South African student or DUT student, we are sitting, we had over 26 countries. The entire student from other countries gathered around South Africa, because that's how I saw how unique our student or our country was, because they were like interested, because during the presentation of the project that South African students were presenting, it drew interest from all around the world. The CEOs sat with us wanting to hear more of South Africa. All these. Then I saw how much value South Africa has and how much rich information and everything that we have. We stopped the show in Silicon Valley. Everyone was sitting around us wanting to know more about South Africa, wanting to come to South Africa. So the programs are not only attracting the local, which is good, the local markets, but also globally they have interest. In our hubs, in our programs, as the Entrepreneurship Center, we have the U.S. Consular General being part of the programs. We had a meeting last week, and just yesterday, we had a meeting with NYDA. We have partners who said something very interesting, which we always quote in with our students and our ecosystem, that it takes a village to raise a child, but it takes a strong ecosystem to build a sustainable business. Hence our partnerships with our local partners and also our international partners. So what the university is doing is it's very deep, and we appreciate the support that we get from the management to transform entirely, because even in our curricula, the Vice Chancellor and our Deputy Vice Chancellor has urged us that we actually infuse this innovation and entrepreneurship into the curriculum. So we're no longer just sitting in class and say, what is this and that? We are being practical. We're going all out to being practical, and we found that approach being more effective and impactful than any other approaches that we've used than the traditional. Not putting aside the traditional approach, which we still need it. We still need the background brought in, the benefits brought in, but also we've immensely our.
Thank you so much, Ms. Ngobo. You've said a mouthful. I think the Deputy Minister will agree with me when I say it will be the deliberate efforts of civil society, of the private sector and academia that will ensure that we build a capable fourth industrial revolution army from young to the elderly. Mr. Mahlaba, digital divide. rural South Africa. I think when development happens, perhaps then we are also victims of this. When development happens, it happens in the cities. But what about rural South Africa? What is it that we can do, Mr. Mahlaba? In fact, what partnerships can we leverage and what partnership can the department leverage to ensure that we bring rural South Africa with us so that development is not abstract?
Wow. You know, one key thing, let me just maybe put some very good picture into your mind so that you understand what you're talking about is not impossible. One very interesting thing that you must understand about technology is so adaptive into the situation of where we are. The only mistake we are making in South Africa, and I've worked more than a couple of years in my life in technology, we always think technology is English. How many people have developed a website and wrote a Zulu name of the website and named the whole product in their own vernacular language? We have actually robbed ourselves of an opportunity of really reaching uMama uMhlongo somewhere eMalukwazi with exactly what he needs in a correct way. So that is the thing that we must be starting to talk about in a very true sense. So how then do we really ensure we bring in that level of depth when you're coming with innovation you're going to hear about today? Is ensuring that we use our most comfortable way of development to actually reach the ultimate goal of Silicon Valley and all the other places of NYDA they're looking for. Because without us tweaking that particular part, we'll make a mistake of thinking everybody must be going to Silicon Valley for them to be able to learn something new. The reality of it, by the way, you can Google this if you want, the highly most spoken language in this country. I'm sorry that we are in this province to be me saying this. It is Zulu, not English. Shivenda is a language that is being understood by so many people across Gauteng and in the part of the northern side of this country. So just think about it. How many people have we missed by not being able to be relevant to what they want to hear every day? So my good haircuts that I was not sleeping with yesterday, because I was with them the whole night and I was dancing at 2 o'clock, by the way. I've never done it in my life because I've never been in a club, you know. So it was very interesting to be able to dance with them in that particular time. There was one thing that you were saying every time. Let's study what we are trying to solve for, not what you have been briefed. And so what you're going to see here is them really applying their mind to what they have to solve for. So let's be very intent. I mean, Honorable Deputy Minister and Honorable Councillor, let's not be a smart city. Can you be the smart places so that the rural area sees themselves in that smart that you are talking about? We have an illusion that Mhlanga is the most smartest place of where you can go to. By the way, the most smartest place I've been with my foundation, Iwanongoma. It's somewhere in the deep rural area in Mandeni, by the way. We're busy doing the gaming part. And I mean, with Algo team, I met them in Mandeni, that side, and then Richards Bay. And that's where we know each other from. I didn't meet them in Mhlanga. I didn't meet them in ICC. So where I'm trying to challenge then your narrative is to say the narrative is not about how do we accommodate in. Actually, how do we belong where we belong anyway? So the last part of like really transforming the thinking, and I'm very proud of this because I mean I've been pushing the team and I've been working with these young people, the Olanga and the part around this. Can we really start realizing that the economy strategy and economy muscle of Africa is sleeping in our what you call it? I say a CEO. I normally say this thing in your innovation committee. In our, there's this word of English. No, English is not my vernacular language, you know. So isn't really going back to our real things. So our heritage kind of concept. Utritin, umlabalaba does not have a very good enjoyment in our cell phones because of a very simple thing. Nobody can crack it in English, but somebody in Zulu can crack it. Can we code in Zulu? Can we do that particular part? Indigenous game are there for a reason. So let's not come up with crazy innovation of China. Can we come up with indigenous innovation and award it? So if you ever want to digitize Home Affairs, I always challenge some of the leaders to say, digitizing Home Affairs is not about how English can you put it on the app. It's about how many Zulu vendor, and they can actually know the Sandile is speaking vendor because she said da, da, and then automatically switch everything into vendor. Oh, by the way, I did that in 2015 in the city of Johannesburg with one of their chatbot. If I say sawubona, it asks me, ngingakusiza ngani namhlanje? So I want us just really to challenge ourselves. I want NTITA to say, I'm going to fund you. But if you're from like in vendor, can you really come up with a vendor, kind of like indigenous innovation part? That's how we're going to make money. By the way, just to understand, Ukamba, which is the clay pot, if you go to the US and try to sell it, it's very expensive. They even auction it because it's indigenous from certain area in Africa. So can you think about Ukamba as an innovation that is done in Africa and is costing so much money? So this is how then I'm just trying to create a narrative of saying there's no exclusion to the rural areas, by the way. We are just maybe having a fallacy because we're sitting here. People in the rural area, they're happy where they are. Just give them some of the things that they can be able to emulate that particular innovation out there. If you want to check, if you want to solve a truck issues, the very young people you're doing it there. But some of them I even told them, if you have not been up north where there's truck issues, and then go and even sit with the community there and ideate with them, you're not solving the problem. You are just again become very nicely cushioned in a very nice place, being given an aircon and trying to solve a problem that is there in reality. So in summary, with Go Digital and the way we've been partnering with Moses Kota and Algo and all the different parts, we bring a very interesting flair. If we're going to a township, we want it to be done in Zulu. AI in Zulu, AI in Umlazi, okay? Because it's supposed to be. Let's give it a name. Let's have a competition where we're talking about the name about this particular part because we want the kids to do it. Ubabucho Zaninen is no longer there to give us all these Zulu names he used to give us. I mean, some of you are very young, you don't know him. But this is how we know Ngulazi because he came up with it. But where are we going to get this innovational, traditional, I mean, all these particular parties, this is how we're going to award it. Last part of it, I mean, we run a very good platform called MyTala. MyTala platform is MyTala Edu. MyTala Edu, by the way, how we crack it when they call it COVID came in. The first thing we knew that kids, you can't go to them and teach them robotics and all those parts. We then had to come up with a solution. The solution was let's go on Facebook because that's where they are. But we still make it differently. We want to target grade 12 who were about to write there, but they could not write because they didn't have access. But you know, Facebook and TikTok, they are there every time. But you tweak it even more and say, no. IMEDS will do it in Zulu, 60%. We employ 35 teachers. They are all compensated if they can do things in Zulu, 60%. And you have been running it for 3 years, and Itala is funding it. And you can go online and say, my Itala Edu, you will see it. When you can, the things I couldn't understand in maths, I actually can't start to understand it now because of that. And where the team, I'm pushing them to go now, and I'm funding it personally. I want them to go and camp in vendor, and I want to get at least about 2 teachers who can teach physics and maths. 60% should be in vendor. Because I think for me, this vernacular school we're talking about curriculum is not going to happen just because the books might be written in our language. But technology, we can take people to start talking the language and teach the kids to automatically online. I can tell you, I think we will launch the first school that's going to be the vernacular language. I don't know if I've addressed everything I wanted to here, but for me, really, let's not have this dream that rural areas, they are in poverty and they need us. They're actually much more richer than us. We need to be partnering with them and ensure that whatever we know works for them more than working for us today. No, thank you very much.
Thank you so much. You did say a mouthful. And it's also very inspiring to listen to the efforts that you colleagues have undertaken to ensure that we take rural South Africa with. I think, Deputy Minister, also with your stakeholder engagements, I think we need to address the issue of language so that we can take everyone else with. I think we need to start breaking it down. Let's speak Sesotho in an area where there are Sotho speaking people. Thank you very much for that, Ntate Mahlaba. I'd also like to acknowledge the presence of the Sage Africa CEO, Dr. Thabo Pitse. So they run an organization called the Students for the Advancement of Global Entrepreneurship, whereby they've created a platform for teen entrepreneurs, training 13-year-olds to be entrepreneurs and to be active participants in the economy. So we are not just speaking about these things, but we have people that directly work on these matters as well. Welcome, CEO. Okay, so last questions to my panelists. NYDA, how do we use technology governance to disrupt inequality? You guys are advocating for the biggest demographic of our country, which is young people. In 2 minutes, how do we use technology governance to disrupt inequality?
Okay, I think my other panelist sort of like alluded to ways that we can include or inequality. Number two, we could say, is there really inequality, or we just feel like there's inequality because of where we are stated and how we people in certain demographics, for example. But to really answer your question, in terms of governance, what we do, for example, even at the NYDA, whenever we think about implementing the whatever technologies which are there, we then think about all our young people in different demographics. How can we tailor make certain technologies to ensure that our message, for example, really reaches all our young people in different demographics. But then what is really important actually is engagements with the community, because I can be Dimakato sitting at head office and then driving a strategy or governance. Everyone I might not even understand. So what we do is that we have regional offices at the NYDA. Over and above that, we also have satellite offices. So we gather data on how young people, for example, engage with certain things that we've implemented. For example, the ERP system that I was talking about that we recently launched, whether it's a good feedback, complaint, but we really try and understand that from deep rurals in Mhlabo, for example. By the way, I'm not sure if it's really a rural area. It's a name that I just hear. So I'm just thinking about a quick Zulu area that I can use to say that how are you interacting with the platforms that we put there? And then I was really glad that my fellow panelists were speaking about languages. That's one of the things that we will be implementing soon, including people with disability, because I myself have a severe eye problem. I struggle. I have to Zoom things with my phone whenever I'm at events. So I was thinking about another young person trying to access the NYDA website or trying to access our ERP portal to apply for opportunities. What if they can't see? What if they don't understand what is written there? I'm a smart person. I speak isiZulu or Sesotho. I just don't understand English. Does that mean that I cannot build an incredible robot that can be recognized internationally? Then I'm limited. So those are the things that the strategies that NYDA has put in place to ensure that we implement them in the next financial year.
Thank you so much. And Mr. Ngobo, in fact, I think one important factor that our Stimakas made mention of is the people with disabilities. We are all different. Okay, well, we are all abled, but what about those who cannot? And in fact, I think I'm going to be more biased to Sage, because Sage also advocates for young entrepreneurs, teenage entrepreneurs that are disabled as well. So I think it's also initiatives that the DUT and all the colleagues in the room should be advocating for as we build. Mr. Ngobo, what are the bottlenecks that you face? How can you better assist government as an institution of higher learning?
I think the main bottleneck that we have, but that we've identified, is the not working in silos, because we've managed to gather like this, but is to have coordinated approaches in everything that we are doing. If DUT entrepreneurs, where are we passing them on to further or accelerate what DUT has done? The inventions that are coming out of DUT, where are we taking them to? If we could have, because there's just so much opportunities within government, within the private sector, but the issue is the coordination of those opportunities. Sometimes you find that this department is doing exactly the same than what we are doing, or that, but there is a huge gap, maybe in the area of market linkages, in the area of maybe funding linkages, of which one organization can just focus. Then we know when we've cooked them up to this level as DT, we're passing them on to this department that will now assist them with market linkages and stuff. So the coordination, that's where the main thing is, that nationally, from the national level, things are not proper. We see a lot of visits from the ministers, sometimes talking more or less the same language, but you just wish that there could be more of a coordinated approach in all of this, so all the gaps are closed, because we have resources as the country. It's just a matter of coordinating. If we can close that gap, I think we will be far. We can be fine the next couple of months or so. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And Mr. Mahlaba, what from your budget, or what percentage of your budget do you dedicate to the development of women?
Ew. Wow. I think next time I will ask for the question to be sent before so that I don't get caught. One critical part of what we have been able to do, and I mean, now I'm going to speak with two life that I believe. The first one being what we do in the foundation. First is, by the way, women-driven. So it's women-driven, majority of it. So my voice is very limited. Sometimes we've done teaching girls a lot, which we're partnering. So we really have a very good appreciation that the majority of people and population is driven by very powerful ladies who made us to be wise men. Because they gave birth to us, and then they grew us up when we were young. Even today, when you're still behaving younger, they actually made you higher. Strategically of ensuring that you are empowering not just a girl child, but even to the mother level, because of where we want to go. So most of the programs are geared to that particular part. Let's Life within the NGO, I think there's a very big dive around how to work with this particular environment, because that's where I think we have really disabled a lot of ladies because of what physically they have to go through to be able to build this nation that we've got, but never take into consideration that exactly how much gap they're actually closing to us to be able to do some of the parts. So I normally speak when I give an opportunity around robotics and robotic processes, how is helping the bridging the gap. So I normally show a video around the new robotic innovation of where the kitchen has been converted into a robot and the cooking is actually done by the robot. So on my other life, where I work for Microsoft, one of the things that I push very hard on Microsoft is, can you make sure if we're doing 15, CEO Tandega actually worked with us when you're doing the KZN-based partners and make them from no partner of Microsoft to a gold partner of Microsoft, meaning being dimension data. Their quota was very clear. We are putting our money because you need to make sure that more than half of those SMMEs are female, owned, 100% owned. And there was a percentage for disabled. So there's a very clear demarcation around it. We are very intentional about it as an organization, but I think as a person, I'm very intentional. I was brought up from 6-year-old up until what I am today by my mother, because my father passed on that when I was that young. So I do really understand the complexity around, if I get you an interview, I'm very biased very quickly, because I understand exactly what power interest stays within a particular line of parts. I hope I did answer your question.
No, you did. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, colleagues and DM. Lastly, I'm challenging my 3 panelists to support all the participants of the hackathon and macathon. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That was a refreshing panel, don't you agree? That was absolutely amazing. And there are so many nuggets that we can all take away that can help us readjust our thinking towards certain issues and the work that we're already doing. I know it's been a long morning. We're about to take our tea break now. And when we come back, we're going to continue with our program. There's still an exciting session coming up. So I'd like us to please take 10 minutes, strictly 10 minutes. There is tea and coffee on your right-hand side, or my right-hand side here. And the bathrooms are on the door to the left. You walk outside and you turn to your left as well. So at this moment, I'd like us to take our tea break. And when it's time to come back, I will give a shout. Thank you.